An indulgence is used to release a sinner from punishment for sins which have already been forgiven. In the 1500s, the Church began a questionable practice. Pope Leo X needed to raise money for the completion of St. Peter's Basilica, the Vatican, and he encouraged priests to sell indulgences. People bought indulgences mainly for dead relatives, who were thought to be languishing in purgatory. It was believed an indulgence could get them into heaven faster than prayers. The most notorious traveling priest who sold indulgences was the German priest Johann Tetzel. His favorite phrase was, "As soon as a coin in the coffer, change purse. Rings, a soul from purgatory springs." Another fundraiser for the church was the practice of simony. Simony was the sale of church offices to the highest bidder. Although the office didn't officially go on the auction block, high-ranking church offices were often purchased by wealthy men for their younger sons. Church officials claimed the offices weren't for sale at all, but the monies were donations from wealthy families. Interestingly, the sons from these families were often appointed to the position of bishop. This practice often resulted in unqualified and unspiritual people being placed in high-ranking church positions. A different type of corruption was the practice of nepotism. This was a long-standing practice of appointing one's relatives to high offices in the church. A good example of this practice can be seen very visually in the portrait done by Raphael of Pope Leo X and his cardinal nephews. Like that of simony, this practice allowed sometimes unqualified and unspiritual people to become priests, and often high-ranking officials like bishops or cardinals. Why didn't anyone protest these corruptions? The answer is, they did. Protesters, however, were labeled heretics. Heretics were people whose beliefs ran contrary to accepted church doctrine. This may not seem a large offense, but in the Middle Ages and Renaissance era, heretics were burned at the stake. Two would-be reformers were Wycliffe and Huss. Wycliffe suggested the Bible be translated into the vernacular, common language, and the priesthood be made up of those who avow poverty, as opposed to the wealthy bishops and cardinals which were becoming common. He was persecuted for his criticisms of church practice. But Huss was burned in 1415 because practical church doctrine, not just practices,